For O1. The universe is an illusion and its size relates to our consciousness. The stronger the consciousness, the bigger the universe. The weaker the consciousness, the smaller the universe. The universe would not exist without consciousness. For O2. The universe is the productive, the consciousness of the greatest creator. The universe did not originate from the Big Bang. Rather, it came into being because Wuji gave birth to Taiji and chaos evolved into holographic order. For O3, the universe has eight forces. A magnetism, a gravity, the strong force, the weak force, the structural force, the repulsive force, the conscious force, the spiritual force. The universe is made up of three elements: consciousness, structure, energy. For O4, the universe includes 20 parallel worlds. A Humanslevian, the XY world. A Ghosts Livian, the XY world. A gods, Buddhas, and super-celestial beings live in the XYZ world. Monsters and demons live in the XYZ world. The 1,000-year world is in the XYZ world. The 10,000-year world is in the XYZ world. The celestial islands continentis in the XYZ world. For O5. The universe exists for LIF and LIF exists for the universe. When LIF is out, the universe will perish. When the universe ends, LIFU will be extinct. For O6. The solar system was designed to serve human sun the Earth. For O7. The moon did not come into being naturally, it was created specifically for LIFE on the Earth. Apart from its other functions, the moon serves as a warehouse, mainly to store UFOs. For O8. The UFOs we occasionally see in the sky are not from outer space but from within the moon, which is a gigantic warehouse storing many tools that supercelestial beings once used, and UFOs want to kind off them. The moon has a gate which can be opened at any time, and there is a huge palace beneath the mysterious Bermuda Triangle, which supercelestial beings use as temporary lodging sun-Earth. When such needs arise, supercelestial beings can exercise remote control off the UFOs within the moon at any time and use them to visit Earth. For O9. The atmosphere is the Earth's skin. The ozonosphere is to protect life on the Earth. Water is the Earth's blood. Photosynthesis is the headspring of food for life. Symmetry in nature is a mysterious force. The perfect scale is the golden ratio. The brain is the epitome of the universe. Genes are the sealed book of life. Conditioned reflexes are the protective mechanisms of life. Sexual pleasure is not only for the continuation of ancestral lines. The beauty of nature is the masterpiece of the greatest creator. For 10. There is a negative cosmic velocity in the universe, namely the speed of the non-material, which is faster than that of light. For 11. Everything in the universe moves in accordance with Tao. The spirits of all life forms are connected to that of the greatest creator. Each thing and every phenomenon follow its own principles and laws. Whether it be the operation of celestial bodies or the action of an ant or a bee, everything is controlled by Tao. The universe is holographic, and a thought can spread across it within an instant. For 12. The total energy of the universe is always zero, which enables its stable order. For 13. The holographic phenomena means the universe is holographic. A holographic universe means that the universe is so expansive that there is no exterior and so small that there is no interior. Everything and all phenomena are holographically interconnected. Nothing is independent of anything else, and no phenomenon is independent of any other phenomena. For 14. The unity of opposites is only the appearance of the universe, not the essence of it. The essence of the universe is a holographic order entity. There are no opposite such justice and injustice, good and evil, or beauty and ugliness within the holographic order. For 15. There are grand universe and small universes. The boundless universe is called the grand universe and the bounded universes are called small universes. The grand universe is made up of a vast number of small universes. The universe in which humans live is a small universe, and it is called the Earth universe. For 16. All objects within the scope of time, including celestial bodies, have an origin, a time of being born and a course of development. The universe is no exception. Before the birth of the universe, it was Wuji. The state of Wuji is the absence of large and small, the absence of borders, the absence of entity and non-entity, the absence of time, space, substance, and spirit. All is a state of clearness and brightness as well as chaos. All is a state of existence as well as non-existence. For 17. Chaos is a disorderly state. Holographic order is an orderly one. Chaos was the state before the formation of the universe, while holographic order has been the state afterward. Chaos, Chinese Hundun, means mess, lack of order. In Chinese, holographic order is written as Hundun. Hun means wholeness and inseparable integrity, and Dun means a borderless and expansive state like the immense ocean. In the state of chaos, there is no heaven, no earth, no borders, no limits, no center, no yin or yang, and no middle way. In the state of holographic order, there is Taiji, the one in the unity of opposites, the two poles, and the middle way. For 18. The law that maintains the zero sum of positive and negative energy is called the law of cause and effect. For 19. The existence of natures is what causes the clear-layered, well-structured, multiform, and constantly changing wonder of life in all natural phenomena. If everything were devoid of their natures, then the universe would return to its chaotic, primordial state of chaos. For 20. The material world is the positive universe. The non-material world is the negative universe. Non-material things are of the negative universe as they are non-physical, intangible, invisible, untouchable, inaudible, and cannot be sensed, measured, or perceived, yet influence the material world. The dream world is a type of negative universe, namely the non-material world. For 21. The positions of materials and non-materials and the spheres of their activities are called space. Space can be positive or negative. Non-materials exist in negative space. Materials exist in positive space. Positive space is determined by the existence and distribution of materials, and negative space is determined by the existence and distribution of non-materials. For 22. Space can change an object's shape and its rules of operation. Space includes natural spaces and thinking spaces. In different spaces, operation rules and the existence of life-end objects are different. Changes of space can cause changes of one's physical functions, thinking, and the survival state. One must change space if they want to change it themselves. For 23. Nature gives us corresponding feedback to whatever information we enter. There are no coincidences in the universe. All phenomena must have their determining factors. All natural phenomena have causes which lead to inevitable results. This is the program and objective law which is not subject to the will of man. For 24. Space can be compressed, expanded, and dissolved. For 25. The passageways connecting the 36-dimensional spaces are called space tunnels. For 26. Spaces are vitally importante people. A good space can bring people's capabilities into full play and make them feel relaxed and happy, while a bad space will oppressimanatory and limit their talents, reducing them to mentally and physically fatigued prisoners. Therefore, we should strive to create or enter good spaces and avoid creating or entering bad ones. For 27. Time is the recorder of the state of material movement. Time is born of movement. there would be no time without movement. For 28. Time has 8 great characteristics. 1. Time is non-material. 2. Time can be negative or positive. 3. Time is particular and universal. 4. Time is a variable. 5. Time pervades all material spaces. 6. Time is both longitudinal and latitudinal. 7. Time has different interpretations in different spaces. 8. Time can be compressed, expanded, and dissolved. For 29. Time tunnels are dense time networks which are composed of positive and negative time and are widely distributed throughout the universe. For 30. Time changes everything and everything exists within a specific time. To make an object externally, you must make its time of existence eternal. For 31. There is latitudinal time and space in the universe, but time does not exist in latitudinal time and space. In latitudinal time and space, one cannot feel the passage of time, but insofar as Earth time is concerned, several seconds of latitudinal time and space can be several decades, centuries, or millennia. For 32, our physical bodies are in positive space, but our spiritual entity are in negative space. For 33. To escape from the bondage of time and space, one must think whimsically, unconventionally, and act against norms. For 34. Tao is the commonality of the universe, and the Koryof Tao is the greatest creator. Revering the greatest creator and following Tao is the perfect and harmonious integration of one's individuality with their universal commonality. Only those who integrate their individuality perfectly and harmoniously with the commonality of the universe have sober minds and bright prospects. Those who abandon this general principle and direction cannot secure bright prospects no matter how intensely they engage in self-cultivation. For 35. Non-materialist, the reverse side of material and does not possess the characteristics of material. All material possess the process of birth, growth, decay, and death, but non-material does not. Everything in the non-material world can miraculously transform in an instant. From the perspective of the ever-existing universe, everything is transient, illusory, and valueless. To obtain eternal existence, one must break away from the control of time. To do this, one must work hard to perfect the spiritual entity of their life. When all conditions are ripe, success will follow. Once you manage to break through the limitation of time, you will be able to enter latitudinal time and space as you like, feel relaxed and happy, and be overwhelmed by unparalleled beauty. For 36. It is impossible to understand the non-material world by means of science, intellect, facts, and logical reasoning. The only way to know it is to let one's consciousness enter the non-material world and be there to observe just as we enter our dreams. It is only by entering into the non-material world in person that we can understand it. There are two types of non-material worlds. One is to be perceived from a longitudinal time tunnel and the other is to be perceived from a latitudinal space tunnel. This is to say that to learn about your past or future, you must enter a time tunnel. To know about other non-material worlds existing at this moment, you must enter a space tunnel. For 37. If we cannot see anything in the material world, then our physical eyes have failed. They are covered, closed, or have become blind. If we cannot see anything in the non-material world, then our spiritual eyes have failed. They are covered, closed, or have become blind. For 38. The sum of positive and negative energy in the universe is always zero. The total score of wins and losses is always zero. And behind the glory of every winner hides the bitterness and misery of a loser. Therefore, for the sake of other people's happiness, we should only take what is necessary for us instead of having an insatiable greed for all benefits. For 39. The universe has these eight dialectics. 1. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. 2. When things are exhausted, they revive. When they end, they begin again. 3. The hidden becomes clear and the smallest becomes big. For life and death are the root of each other. Yin flourishes and yang declines. 5. To own nothing is to have everything, and to own everything is have nothing. 6. Our nature emerges when our mind is silent. It subsides when the mind is active. 7. Motion and stillness coexist. Brightness and darkness are interdependent. 8. Positive and negative are symmetrical. Development is constrained when the balance of any proportion is broken. For 40. Tao is the consciousness of the greatest creator and the blood of the universe. It is nature, the synthesis of all laws, and the general program that governs the operation, mutual generation, and restraints off everything in the universe. For 41. Tao has these eight characteristics. 1. In holographic order. 2. Eternal reliability. 3. Instantaneous detection and response. For lack of interior or exterior but transcendence over time and space. 5. Spirituality. 6. Justice. 7. Immediacy. 8. Illusory yet actual. For 42. The content of everything represented by Tao is expressed in forms. Without form, Tao's content would be difficult to materialize. Form is the embodiment of Tao but is by no means Tao itself, just as a cell in a human body is the embodiment of that person, but is definitely neither him nor her. For 43. Tao exists in everything. Everything exists in Tao. Tao is the one. The vast universe has only one consciousness, that of the greatest creator, which is manifested through Tao. For 44. The attributes of Tao have no contradictions. If one has conflicts in their minds or has conflicts with others, they are not in tune with Tao. If there are conflicts within a group, it is not in tune with Tao. For 45. The operation of Tao begins with minor details, achieves in dribs and drabs, and consummates in both the profound and the subtle, but there is no trick to it. For 46. Zen is the best approach through which one can become enlightened. Any other approaches can be described by words, but only Zen can be carried out with soul. Having understood the truth of Zen, formal education is unnecessary because heaven, earth, and all other phenomena are books. We can read the books without words of heaven, earth, and all phenomena at any time, whether we are awake or asleep. Note here, Zen means the process of reading and observing the wordless book, every phenomenon of nature, society, and the whole universe, understanding it by thinking, verifying, and eventually getting the absolute truth of oneself and the universe and obtain enlightenment. For 47. One thing is eternal. From the remote pasto, the distant future, it has been committing itself silently. Its semblance can change at any time, but its essence always remains the same, in the past, the present, and the future. As long as we are willing to rely on it, we always can, and this is where we can entrust our lives. Tao. Tao is the embodiment of the consciousness, and the spirit of the greatest creator. By entrusting our lives to Tao, we are entrusting them to the care of the consciousness and spirit of the greatest creator. In one word, we must entrust our lives to the greatest creator. For 48. Essences cannot be understood other than through their uses. This is a big mystery, which simply suggests that the meanings of all essence are expressed by their uses. To allow one's essencito be understood, they must concentrate their efforts on their uses. It is only by expressing our uses that we can attain Tao, because the values of everything lie in their uses, and without them, their essences cannot be understood. For 49. The values of things lie in their uses. The functions and the values of Tao are embodied completely in its uses. The greater one's use is, the greater their value is, and all objects in the universe express their value through their use. As far as humans are concerned, the more uses one has, or the greater uses they have, the greater value they have, the richer intentions they will attain, and the more easily they will approach eternity. We cultivate ourselves by expanding our uses. The more useful we are, the better we do in cultivation. For 50. Holographic order is the characteristic of Tao, Chaosis the appearance of holographic order, and holographic order is the essence of chaos. Actually, 99.9999% of people see chaos, but only 1 in a million see a holographic order world. Jesus, Sakyamuni, and Lao Tzu are great because they understand this holographic order rather than just chaos. The perception of Chaosis narrow-sensed, one-sided, local, and linear. The perception of holographic order is broad-sensed, comprehensive, integrated, and nonlinear. For 5.1.to learn from Tao, one must learn from everything in nature, from the mirror and from children. To achieve Tao, one must forget themselves and faithfully reflect the truth and facts. Those who have achieved Tao are like mirrors which reflect everything truthfully, including the endlessly changing outside world. They do not distort facts or scenes. One who has no self but faithfully reflects the truth and the facts is one who has achieved Tao. For 52. The pursuit of various techniques is a minor consideration, but the pursuit of Tao is a major one. It is easy to acquire and learn techniques but extremely difficult to achieve Tao. Do not Falentone get stuck within the traps of techniques because techniques are endless. The research for techniques cannot be completed in even 100,000 years, so let us go directly to the headstream Tao. For 5.3. It is difficult to reach heaven, but more difficult to understand oneself. It is difficult to pursue Tao, but more difficult to confront oneself truthfully. For 54. One's chickens and dogs will not follow them to heaven by their having achieved Tao. One's friends and relatives will not become immortal because of their becoming immortal. Everyone must complete their own path. For 55. Our self-refinement should be concentrated on the perception, pursuit, attainment, and practice of Tao, and we must never be infatuated with gong, magic, techniques, or ceremonies. We should pay attention to inner qualities rather than to appearances and forms. The choreograph self-refinementus to perfect or non-material structures of life rather than to obtain wisdom and supernatural powers. We should work on our thinking and or transformation of consciousness instead of on meditation and practicing our skills. For 56. The perception, pursuit, verification, attainment, and maintenance of Tao is the road to the sublimation of life. To perceive Tao means to understand the following principles be observing the endless variety of phenomena, the boundless universe. The laws and rules that govern the operation of the universe. The origin of all things and phenomena. The principles of the operation of life. The secrets and profound mysteries of the universe, of time and space, and of life and life. The pursuit of Tao is to establish one's own outlook on the world, life, and values, on the basis of the perception of Tao. The verification of Tao is to validate through one's practices over and over again, whether the outlooks on the world, life, and values are correct and conform to the laws and procedures of the evolution procedures of Tao. The attainment of Tao means that one has understood the secrets and profound mysteries of the universe, time and space, and life, and has established unshakable correct views on the world, life, and values. The maintenance of Tao means that one will self-improve, self-refine, and behave according to the views on the world, life, and values that one has established, and will stick to their faith and belief no matter how the world may change, what great events may happen in the vicinity, whether they are in prosperity or in adversity, and regardless of how great a temptation with which they are faced. They will remain resilient and strong even after going through endless battering from hurricanes from every direction, and remain seated on the fishing boat, unaffected by stormy waves. Jesus' teaching that one who has the greatest endurance will be saved is the core meaning of maintaining Tao. For 57. A man of great virtue is one who follows Tao. Tao has no clear fixed identity. What does it look like? It is elusive and evasive, in which there are forms, elusive and evasive, in which there are entities, so profound and obscure, in which there is essenceif energy. The essenceif energy is really true, which is verifiable. Dating back to ancient times, its name can never be abolished, but the very beginning of all things can be observed according to it. How can I know the beginning of all things? Through Tao.
458-19 Tao.
Tao has intricate layers of meanings, however, when they are all reduced to their basics, they are simply the law, the order, and the one. For us, the meaning of 10 to 9 is the casting away of numerous and complicated matters in life and the concentration of all our efforts onto one thing. To thoroughly, intensively, and completely attend to one matter is to obtain everything from it that we need. That is to say, as long as we stick to the one, we will be in tune with Tao. Undivided attention, wholehearted devotion, total commitment, and perseverance are the embodiments of 10 to 9. As long as we are capable of this, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. Rubbing ropes against wooden boards will cut into them, and dripping water onto stones will wear them down. Channels form when water flows, and melons' pedicles fall when their fruit tripens. For 59. Who can change the evolution program that ruled by Tao? We should not attempt to do so. What we need to do is escape from the trappings of life. It is impossible for those who cannot save themselves to save others. Save yourselves first, then save others. Can the poverty-stricken offer financial help to others? Can the imprisoned help other prisoners to escape from their cells? Those who have fallen into a trap should try to escape from it on the conscious level first. As long as you are awake spiritually and have a sober mentally, you can escape from the trappings of life one step at a time. For 60. Ultimate Tao cannot pursue according to relationships. It has no favorites, and it will no help you if you are poor and pathetic, nor punish you if you are rich and powerful. The only measure of reward or punishment is to see whether or not you are following Tao. If you are, then you will be rewarded. If not, you will be punished. For 61. The way to become a celestial being lies in the following methods. Being free from the secular even while remaining in the secular world. Being away from worldly affairs in your mind even when you must interact with them. Doing your best to complete your duty to be free from cares and worries. Remaining ordinary while transcending beyond the ordinary. For 62. Anyone who is always happy, joyous, and free is a celestial. For 63. To become a celestial, Anna must several their worldlities and foster nuance with other celestial beings. It is hard to be a celestial being, while still being constrained by worldly ties. For 64. Let your mind abide nowhere and be free from cares and worries. Follow your own nature and be unrestrained. Follow your destiny and be carefree. Be content no matter where you are, what you encounter, or what you are doing. For 65. Your transformation process from being a human to becoming a celestial or to achieve Buddhahood must include these 3 items. Pay back your debts and end you worldly ties. Accumulate your merits and virtues by serving and dedicating. Perfect your life's non-material structure. For 66. For those whose goal is to become a celestial being, fame, power, wealth, and rank are traps, and glory, humiliation, favor, and disfavor are obstacles. It is only with the least amount of selfish desire and indifference to favor and humiliation that one can embark on the road to becoming a celestial being, and the lack of selfish desire is the starting point toward reaching that end. If selfishness is not banished, then one will be bound to Livia's alaity, and if their desires are not extinguished, then they may be engulfed by the flames of desire. To become a celestial being, one must reduce their selfishness, decrease their desires, keep a sober mind in the face of fame, power, and carnal pleasure, and use materials when necessary, but never be enslaved by them. For 67. To become a celestial, one must detach themselves from worldly affairs and withdraw from worldly pursuits. Only one word can describe the secular world: restless. Only one word can depict the human world: noisy. Only one word can portray the fairylands: serene. Transcendencever worldly affairs means the taking of a great leap from restlessness and noise to a return to serenity. For 68. What kind of space one lives in is dependent in their life structure. Animals scurry about on the ground, birds soar in the sky, bees buzz among flowers, fleas dash between garbage piles, ordinary people hustle and bustle in private ownership and having families, sages wander freely in public ownership, celestials enjoy leisure in non-ownership, and super-celestial beings play at will in their own worlds. For 69. One of the magic codes for becoming a celestial being is to be able to create a future fairyland in our consciousness. We must first imagine ourselves as a celestial being in our consciousness. Different modes of thinking correspond to different forms of life. If we always envision life in the 1,000-year world, then the structure of your life will develop toward that end, and we will go there when the conditions become right. Others may think that we are dead, but we will actually have departed the human world to enjoy a celestial being's life in the 1,000-year world. For 70. The way of Buddha has beliefs of 5 monastic precepts and 10 kindnesses, and precepts, calmness, and wisdom. The way of Christianity has beliefs of original sin and penance, and the way of humans has a set of theories and rules governing human relationships. The way of celestial beings' beliefs encourage the exhibition of their natures, being free and joyful. Follow your own nature and be unrestrained. Follow your destiny and be carefree. For 71. When we are tired and fatigued, we have strayed from the celestial way. When we are happy and unrestrained, we are closer to the celestial way. For 72. Swine must possess the thinking of the swinekeeper to know the meaning of their lives. People must possess the thinking of their keeper to know the meaning of their lives. Anyone who knows the meaning of their life has become a celestial. For 73. To become a celestial being and achieve celestial immortality, one must strive to find the spiritual land, plan their life around it, spread their love across the world, and contribute more to the new era. For 74. 8 major consciousnesses are involved in the process of advancing from the human world to heaven. That is, ascending from a human being to a celestial being. 1. Enlightened consciousness of life. Life is a non-material structure with spirituality. It undergoes endless transmigrations without annihilation. 2. Enlightened consciousness of life and death. Life and death are only appearances, not essences. Forms, not truth. Boundless grasses across the plains come and go with every season. Wildfires never quite consume them. They are tall once more in the spring wind. When your boat reaches the other shore, you simply disembark. 3. Enlightened consciousness of karma. As a man sows, so he shall reap. Divine punishments, though slow, are always sure, with big meshes, yet letting nothing slip through. 4. Enlightened consciousness of space. There are 20 parallel worlds in the universe, 36 dimensional spaces, and paradises and hells. Paradises are for perfect lives. Hells are for defective ones. There are different spaces of life for different life states. Each life lives in a space corresponding to their life state. 5. Enlightened consciousness of predestined relationships. All relationships are predestined. Relationships with ghosts will drop one to the netherworld. Relationships with celestial beings will raise one to a fairyland. If one's debts are not paid off, they cannot get out of their plight, and if one does not have enough merits and virtue, they cannot reach the fairyland. 6. Enlightened consciousness of mind and nature, life's non-material structure. Reality is a projection of consciousness. Consciousness creates reality. Form gives birth to mind, but mind can transcend over form. Minds are the most important of the 3 realms, and consciousness is the most important of all rules. Fragrances will attract butterflies to flowers, and pure hearts will be frequented by celestial beings. Minds that do not abide anywhere are Tathagata. Nature is the characteristic of structure. It is Buddha. 7. Enlightened consciousness of 8 diagram arrays. The universe has 36, 8 diagram arrays, and they are the sources of games. They are full of fun. For example, power, money, fame, gain, carnal pleasure, and affection are 8 diagram arrays from which no one can detach themselves once they become entrapped. It is only after one has acquired supreme authentic wisdom that they can transport themselves outside the samsara world of endless transmigrations. 8. Enlightened consciousness of the true origin. Everything has its source, its origin. Consciousness, structure, and energy are the 3 constituent elements of the universe. All others are as a dream, an illusion, a bubble, a shadow, as dew and lightning. Thus, you should meditate upon them. The greatest creator is the source of everything and therefore the real origin. If you understand him and follow his way, then any of the 84,000 methods will lead you to a smooth path, otherwise you will be at the edge of a cliff. For 75. How does one become enlightened? If one can achieve an integrity of body and soul through self-improvement and self-refinement, then they will have grown real spirit, great talent, and virtues concentrated within them. Without the great vow, they will find it difficult to understand the profundity of the universe and to become enlightened. If they can achieve the following, then the light of their soul will become brighter, their consciousness will become clearer, and they will finally become enlightened. Hold and keep to the one. Be free from ego and selfishness. Revere the greatest creator, life, and nature wholeheartedly. Follow the way of the greatest creator. Devote your heart and soul to the creation of a reality in which the talented are put to good use. The whole world becomes one big family. No one pockets anything found on the ground, and doors are not bolted at night. Everything is in harmony, the wind and rain come in their time, and everyone is happy, joyous, free, and blessed. For 76, the program cannot be initiated unless conditions are ripe, and one cannot assento become a celestial being if their self-improvement and self-refinement they've not achieved the necessary ideal level. 477. Heaven is the general term for the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the celestial islands continentof the Elysium world. 478. The 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the Elysium celestial islands continentaire not fanciful imaginations. They are inevitabilities caused by the law that the sum of all positive and negative energy is always zero, just like the inevitably existence of Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the outer planets in our solar system and of our 7 apertures, hair, limbs, and all of our internal organs. 479. The 1,000-year world is a celestial body that is 960 light-years from Earth. About 10 times the size of Earth, it is currently inhabited by approximately 200 million celestial beings. As the basic lifespan of life for celestial beings on this celestial body is about 1,000 years relative to Earth time, it is called the 1,000-year world. It is a world of pure sincerity, kindness, and beauty. One of love, peace, pleasure, and where human nature is sublimated. Anyone with a perfect human nature can undoubtedly go there, as there is no limit to the population size. 480. The 10,000-year world is a beautiful celestial body located 3,480 light-years from Earth. It is 16 times the size of Earth and is surrounded by 16 equidistant suns. About 100 million celestial beings live there. The basic characteristics of these celestial beings are pretty much the same as those of land celestial beings described by Taoism. They enjoy lifespans of about 35,000 years relative to Earth time, and thus this celestial body is called the 10,000-year world. 481. The Elysium world is the general term for the Earth universe. The universe inhabited by humans is a small one that is called the Earth universe. The Earth universe is called this in relation to other universes. Its structure is a Taiji ellipsoid, which is called a low-rotary galaxy. Low-rotary galaxies contain 3,000 rotary river galaxies. Each rotary river galaxy contains 3,000 Milky Way galaxies, and each Milky Way system contains 3,000 solar systems. In other words, the Elysium world is composed of 3,000 macro worlds, 9 million medium worlds, and 27 billion small worlds. 482. The celestial islands continent of the Elysium world is the greatest creator's backyard. It has 80 billion islands, each the size of Earth. Each island has a name and only one super-celestial being inhabits it. Apart from the 30 billion islands that have been used by super-celestial beings as their home, the remaining 50 billion islands are not currently inhabited by any celestial beings. They are to be inhabited by people from the human world, the 1,000-year world, and the 10,000-year world as they succeed in transforming themselves into super-celestial beings through self-cultivation and self-refinement. 483. The Elysium world has 10 continents. 1. The Lotus continent. 2. The Borneo continent. 3. The Cassiopeia continent. 4. The Ingu continent. 5. The Amida Buddha continent. 6. The Celestial Islands continent. 7. The Three Realms Transit continent. 8. The Moon Temple continent. 9. The Gods continent. 10. The Supreme Authentic Wisdom continent. The Celestial Islands continent is one of the continents of the Elysium world. 484. Super-celestial beings are the highest realm that humans can ascend to. Their base camp is on the Celestial Islands continent of the Elysium world. Hostess Yui of Xiefeng Island on the Celestial Islands continent is a super-celestial being. Guanxian, the revered goddess of mercy and compassion, is a super-celestial being. Angels in Western culture are super-celestial beings. Super-celestial beings are Buddhas. The difference is that Buddha has certain restraints, while super-celestial beings do not. Buddha has responsibilities, but super-celestial beings do not. The greatest characteristic of super-celestial beings is that they can play in whatever way they think is most interesting. After Buddhahood is attained, there are still higher realms awaiting, but after becoming a super-celestial being, none remain to be pursued. Super-celestial beings mainly engage in self-entertainment and do not care about affairs in heaven or the human world. Buddha does not pursue entertainment and is not obsessed with momentary relaxation, but focuses on the acquisition of supreme authentic wisdom. Super-celestial beings are the freest, most pleasant, and happiest elevis in the universe. As the favorites of the greatest creator, they do not undertake any responsibilities or obligations. Buddha is the most intelligent and self-disciplined LIFI in the universe. Buddha will bear responsibilities and obligations when necessary. 485. Heaven is for happy and joyous people. It is not for those who are weighed down by worries. The longer one is happy and joyful, the better and more stable their non-material structures of LIFE become and the closer they are to paradise. 486. To obtain a visato, the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or the Elysium world, one must give up their ego and enter into a holographic state. To give up one's ego is not to keep heavenly laws and extinguish humanly desire, as advocated by Confucianism in China, nor is it a rivalry against the realization of individual value, as advocated by American culture. Rather, letting go of self means the abjuration of obstinate belief in oneself. If you are convinced that your own cognition is completely right and immaculate, then you may be correct in every step along your way, but finally go astray into elusive thinking and never be able to walk out of the desert off life end the cave off silken web of transmigration. For 87. Heaven, whether the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or the Elysium world, is a place of liveliness and recreation, and this is particularly true of the Celestial Islands continent. If you are not good at or have no intention of having fun, then why do you self-improve and self-refine to enter the land of heaven? Do you want to be a police officer in heaven? Let me tell you, there are no police, lawyers, judges, director generals, section chiefs, or supervisors there. For 88. People who cannot dream about a colorful dreamland will rarely enter heaven. So if you often see green mountains and clear rivers, gentle breezes of sand, bright sunshine, and delightful auspiciousness pervading everywhere in your dreams, then you will go to the 1,000-year world. If you often dream about amazing and beautiful sceneries, soaring through the skies, and feeling wonderful when interacting with the opposite sex physically, mentally, or spiritually without the slightest fear or trepidation, it is evident that you will go to the 10,000-year world. If you dream that you can make yourself invisible, soar freely, transform yourself at will, and make reality change be your own consciousness, then this indicates that you will enter the Elysium world. For 89. To aim for heaven, you must climb over two huge mountains. One is the man-made program, and the other is your personal Egypt of the soul. The man-made program includes family, nationality, state, religion, political party, the current social order, and the way of life. To enter heaven, you must walk out of these programs. You cannot reach heaven without escaping from them. The Egypt of the soul includes jealousy, comparison, complaining, arrogance, wrath, possessiveness, forced occupation, enmity, tenets and doctrines, commandments and dharma, contention, greed, laziness, and intentional action. If you do not clear away these trash in your soul, then you cannot reach heaven. Please abandon the human program, flee from your Egypt of the soul, break your chains, and fly toward freedom. For 90. How can we accumulate wealth in heaven? Here are 8 ways. 1. Revere the greatest creator, life and nature, and follow the way of the greatest creator. 2. Dedicate selflessly. 3. Dissolve enmity and bring serenity, peace, and warmth to others and to society. 4. Have a kind heart and do good deeds. 5. Sing praises to the greatest creator, Jesus Christ, Buddha Sakyamuni, celestial being Lao Tzu, Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, and the sages and saints throughout history. Sing praises to life and other people. Sing praises and protect nature. 6. Promote people's confidence in life, prompt people to long for beautiful futures, and relieve people's anxieties, worries, trepidations, and fears. 7. Bloom your romantic and sexual love in ways that do not bring any psychological, spiritual, or physical harm or stress to anyone else. 8. Fully exhibit your artistic beauty. For 91. The kingdom of heaven does not accept children who have never grown up. Neither adults lacking childlike minds nor childish adults who have not grown up are accepted in heaven. People's traditional lifestyles hinder them from growing up. Many people are still immature and cannot become ripe crops even well into their advanced years. This is something that provokes our thoughts. Ripe crops are certainly children who have grown up and matured. If you have never grown up, then you are surely not eligible to enter heaven. For 92. To enter the 1,000-year world, one must meet the following 8 requirements. 1. Revere and believe firmly in the greatest creator and always be grateful to him. 2. Revere life and nature. 3. Possess no jealousy, resentment, belligerence, greed, stubbornness, selfishness, or complaints against others. 4. Never hinder other people's happiness or freedom under any pretense or excuse. 5. Have a kind heart. Kindness can be felt from one's appearance, words, and behavior. 6. Be honest, practical, realistic, and truthful. Never lie or cheat. 7. Work hard and keep your living and surrounding environment clean, tidy, beautiful, and harmonious. 8. Keep all promises and agreements. For 9.3. Enter the Celestial Islands continent. One must achieve the status of a super-celestial being. To achieve this status, they must possess the life structure of a super-celestial being. Self-harmony is one of the 8 qualities which are required in the life structures of super-celestial beings, and it refers to a self-formed complete system which is defective of nothing, has good coordination and congruence, and satisfies all it needs internally. Self-harmony is tathagata with no form of self, others, living beings, lifetime, dharma, or non-dharma. Self-harmony is trance, obscurity, the subtle, male and female, yin and yang, and taiji. For 94. How can we cultivate the character of self-harmony? There are 8 ways. 1. Create millions of images and dharma within your mind. Namely, create reality with consciousness. 2. Life is death, death is life, glory is disgrace, and disgrace is glory. Show no concern for life, death, glory, or disgrace. Possess strength but retain gentleness. Know and observe all, but remain obscure. 3. There is no essential difference between form and emptiness. Consciousness returns to the state of zero, and the soul returns to the spiritual Pure Land. For everything is but a game, only life is true, so do not persist in anything. 5. Have everything but possess nothing. Transcend over time and space and maintain a powerful and unconstrained style. 6. Enjoy and please yourself within your own consciousness completely and freely. Follow your own nature and be unrestrained. Follow your destiny and be carefree. 7. Maintain a holographic status with no interiors or exteriors, no borders or boundaries, no rights or wrongs, no truths or falsehoods, and no kindnesses or wickednesses. 8. Make the real, elusive, and dreamlike. Make the elusive reasonable. For 95. There is neither oppression or exploitation in heaven. All those who want to enter heaven by self-improving and self-refining must not contend, fight, or debate with others. They must not despoil, oppress, or exploit others, nor should they bring unhappiness or unpleasantness to others under any pretense in any way. They must never restrict another's freedom for any reason, nor should they impose their views or opinions on others or cause spiritual, mental, or physical harm to anyone. For 96. If you have paid off all your debts in the human world, accumulated enough merits and virtues in heaven, and have great qualities, then you will go straight to heaven after you pass away. If you have eliminated all concepts of families, nationalities, states, political parties, and religions from your consciousness, and if you like free ends, if you often dream about soaring freely and can maintain a state of pleasure without sexual contact, then you will enter the 10,000-year world of heaven after this life journey ends. If you possess the consciousness of Buddha, then you will enter the corresponding Elysium world after this life journey ends. If you revere the greatest creator, life, and nature, follow the way of the greatest creator, possess supernatural powers, and can create the world that you yearn for, then you will undoubtedly enter the Celestial Islands continent of the Elysium world. For 97, these three steps are required to become a celestial being. 1. Be free from trouble, pain, sorrow, worry, and fear, and live a happy, joyous, free, and blessed life. 2. Let your mind abide nowhere, be free from worries and cares. Follow your own nature and be unrestrained. Follow your destiny and be carefree, and maintain a state of pleasure at all times. 3. Be free from your mind. Everything is nature and you live by exhibiting your nature. You are humble, flexible, highly sensitive, and possess 64 magical powers. Your mind abides nowhere. You have transcended your ego and are not affected by forms, and you have been free from attachments which lead you into the state of self-harmony. You are in tune with Tao, unrestrained, easy, and elegant. For 98. Becoming a super celestial being and reaching the Elysium world is to reach the peak of life. Humans cannot become God and can never become the greatest creator. For 99. We're always pursuing Tao. Actually, Tao is never very far from us and never abundances. Tao surrounds us just like water surrounds fish. Tao exists in our everyday lives and throughout everything. Tao also exists in all changing phenomena. Going with the flow of Tao, letting yourself melt into Tao, and having Tao manage and lead your life means that you have attained it. 500. Everything runs in Tao, including the behaviors of governments. Therefore, do not complain or get upset or enraged, but just do what you need to do. If you choose to plant a flower, that is your business. If the government chooses to destroy your flower, that is their business. Ultimately, Tao will give everyone fair and just trials.